Welcome and thank you very much for checking out my review of Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, directed by Eliza Hittman and starring Sidney, Flanigan, and Talia Ryder. This is only the latest of many movies who have been gifted an early VOD release due to the whole situation going on around the world, and this is the type of movie that usually needs the most support in movie theaters. We follow a pair of teenage girls in rural Pennsylvania as they travel to New York City to seek out medical help after an unintended pregnancy on one of their parts, on the minor's part. She is 17, she doesn't want to have this baby, but due to the law in Pennsylvania, you need your parents' signature written permission to be able to do an abortion. I went into this film completely blind. I didn't know what this was about. I only knew the name of this film. I heard rumblings that it came out at Sundance, but that's really it. I didn't know who starred in it, who directed it, and this film is one of the brightest, shiniest examples of why I love to go into films completely blind, because this film is raw, it's authentic, it's not sensationalist at all. This is a very crude and very intimate story about a girl who wants to do what's best for her. And it touches on sensitive subject matter. Some would even call it controversial. I don't, but I'm not here to get into what I agree with and what I do not. This movie is fantastic. The direction by Eliza Hittman is so precise, so focused, yet you feel yourself anxious because of this character, because of this journey. And the film is shot in such a way that you feel really intimate with her. You feel like you know these characters at a close level. You feel like you've known them for years at a point. At points you even feel uncomfortably close to them as you're watching this film, and there are a ton of uncomfortable scenes, all of them clearly uncomfortable by choice. The direction in this film is simply mesmerizing, and the notion hit me that I was watching a very well written film when very early on it hit me that people weren't talking a lot. They only talked the bare minimum. They only spoke when it was absolutely necessary. That is a sign of a great film, without unnecessary dialogue, without overly speaking roles for characters. People speak in this film if they have to. That's a great script. And that brings out one of the best qualities of the film, which is its understatement. Understatement in this message, in the characters, in the story. The film is very quiet, at points literally, but it speaks in a very loud voice about its message. It hits you. You cannot miss it. And it's not like it's beating you over the head with it. It's just that it shoots into its target and it hits it. Bullseye. Everything it does is effective. Everything it does, it's for a reason. It's so subtle at points. And I have to congratulate the performances. Both leads are fantastic, but especially Sidney Flanigan. This is her first performance. She has never done anything before. According to IMDb at least. No short films, no commercials, nothing. One of the best debut performances I think I have ever seen. She is relentless in this film. You cannot help but feel for her. At points where the character feels broken, you feel broken as well. You cannot help but sympathize with this character. I have two small issues with the film. That is, from second act to third act, it kind of loses its sense of pace. You do know what the film is trying to do, but it almost feels like they only added certain scenes to make for the runtime, to make it a feature. And my other issue is that at points I fail to realize why Skylar, who's the best friend who takes the girl who's pregnant to New York to get an abortion, was even friends with our main character. At points, there's unnecessary bitterness and angst that one has against the other. It didn't bother me much because the rest of the film is so excellently made on all fronts, but when these issues do emerge on screen, I kind of scratched my head. Nevertheless, I have to recommend you this film that is so powerful in its message and how it conveys that message. It's raw, it's haunting, it's authentic, sometimes dreamlike, sometimes naturalistic. This is a gem that you cannot miss and that we will be talking about come the end of 2020 even given the circumstances we are going through right now. I'm giving Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always an A-. Now, what did you think of the film? If you have seen it, my beautiful geekies, if you are not, please look out for it, try to find it, and give it a watch. This film deserves your attention, and let me know when you do your thoughts in the comments below. Check out the latest episode of my podcast, Geeks at the Round Table, where I had Sean Chandler and Griffin Schiller from the Sean Chandler podcast on the show, and check out my latest review for the episode of Clone Wars, episode 7 of season 7. I'll be back soon with more reviews. I hope to see you there, and so until then, please stay beautiful, stay geeky, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video because it really helps me and the channel out. But most importantly, above everything else, forever and always, love each other and love the movies.